Mark Pope lands another transfer portal player as Jaylen Low commits to the Kentucky Wildcats. And kind of seeing where this is going, it seems like the plan is in place for Mark Pope and his staff to put together an elite roster. And we're going to talk about it on today's episode of the Wildcats Today podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Stefaniak, publisher over at Kentucky Wildcats on SI, joined as always by Carson Nash. And Carson, we got rained out of Keeneland on Saturday, but it looks like we're going to be good to go this weekend. So it'll be a fun weekend out at the races, and I'm for sure looking forward to it. I know you are too.
Yeah, definitely. We had a good weekend this past weekend, even though we got rained out. Cody Fugeras wasn't the only one dropping booms with the Boom Cup going on.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, big news for us. Jaylen Low, he's a Pitt Panther, third team All-ACC, 17 points a game. Well, 16.8, but I'll give him the 0.2. 4.2 rebounds a game and 5.5 assists. What I really like from him is I know people had questions on his efficiency. I saw a lot of that on the media stuff, but I think him being involved in Pope's system is going to just make him all that much better. He's not going to have to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Exactly.
For the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah. And also, if you're new here at the Wildcats Today Podcast, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're starting to get up there, and we're trying to keep growing. So please hit that button if you haven't already. We would really, really appreciate it. But Carson, everything you just said to describe Jaylen Low is perfect to me, and that's been the big narrative. And it's a fair narrative to push. He was not efficient from the field. It's not like that's not true. But what you're saying is what I've said in multiple articles. I agree with you, and I think that's the way I look at it. In a great example is now Lamont was much more efficient from the field at SDSU, but he was not efficient from three. Now he was 30.1% from three 2 years ago, and then this year at Kentucky, he shoots over 39%. His percentage the same, and he shot the same amount of threes. It's not like he was shooting less. So his efficiency grew. It was better in Lexington under Mark Pope. And I think you're going to see the same exact thing for Jaylen Low. I think that he's a basketball player and he's really shifty with the ball. He's also a big guy. He's 6'5", right?
Mm-hmm. He's 6'3", but I feel like I feel like they don't give him enough credit there because he's listed as 6'3", but when you watch him on the court, he looks bigger than 6'3".
He does, yeah. I was thinking of Pierre 6'5", right?
Yeah, Pierre 6'5".
That's and we'll talk about more portal players and Pope's plan and all that. But that's what I like about Jaylen Low is he can run the point for you. Good defender, 1.8 steals per game, gives you 4.2 boards per game. You take that from your point guard all day long. And also the 5.5 assists. He can dish the ball. And I expect that number. If I was predicting right now, his points is probably going to go down. He's not going to score 17 points a game this year, Kentucky. It's not going to happen. I bet you 12 is probably a fair estimate.
I'd say around there, yeah.
Yeah, rebounds. He can give you 4 rebounds,
which I love.
That's
one of the secrets here is the 4.2 rebounds a game out of your point guard position is huge. I love the thing I'm seeing with Pope and the guys that he's going after is all of these guys have size and all of them can hit the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two things we were kind of lacking last year was the rebounding. And then athletically and physically, we weren't always matching up the best in the SEC.
Agreed. Yeah, but I like this addition. A lot of people were upset about the efficiency, and it's valid. But I think you have to not look at that. I think you have to look at it in the eyes of what he's going to be in the future. And in the future, I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be an efficient player, and that is great to hear. So I'm excited about this addition, Carson. You know what else I like about him too? You watch the film. He's just a menace, but not like Kerr Kriisa level of menace, but it's the right kind of confidence, and he's got it. He's got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I like
the flair. You see the no-look pass
in here at Kentucky.
Yeah, he's gonna fit in perfectly. Yeah. I really do like him. And one cool point I saw over the weekend on the internet that him and Cam Williams played on the same AAU team together, and so did Wesley Yates, who we would probably talk about.
Who's that? I want no part in that. Gosh, I want that guy bad.
Yeah, so they all three played together growing up. So that's maybe something, maybe not.
I hope it is because I like Wesley Yates a lot. Former 5-star McDonald's All-American guy. He was a Burger Boy. I know he's a 5-star. He was a Burger Boy.
I'm not sure if he was a Burger Boy or not. I don't know fully.
It'd be crazy if he was a 5-star and not. I mean, we've seen it happen to a person on our team, on our class this year. But so I like this addition a lot, Carson. I think he's going to fit the system well. I think the assists are going to go up. I think the efficiency is going to be better. So he shot the basketball 14.3 times per game this year for the Pitt Panthers in the ACC. If I were to guess right now, I would say that he shoots the ball somewhere in that 7 point to 8 point, something, 7 point something, 8 point something type of range. Would you agree there, Carson?
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's probably correct. You're going to see his numbers for shots a game go down. It's kind of like the opposite of Cam Williams a little bit, where he's overutilized and Cam Williams was underutilized. So finding that perfect balance is where I think Pope's going to be able to tap into that next level for him.
And I mean, for Lamont and Jaylen Low are not the same player. That's not what I'm saying. But we're trying to compare our new point guard to our old point guard. Lamont shot the ball 7.7 times a game this year, 2.6 threes per game. So that's where I anticipate Low. Now, Low, obviously Lamont's a better defender. Low's still a good defender. Lamont
Low can break you down.
He can. He's not as good as Lamont, but it's not it's not like it's a negative part of his game. It's honestly still a plus to his game. But he's also
what I'm saying is on the offensive end is the break you down. Like, I don't think Lamont's ball handling was as good as Jaylen Low's ball handling. Like, I think Low is going to be able to get into the lane at a high rate, allowing the defense to kind of collapse on him and being able to disperse it out. And it's going to create mismatch nightmares for the defense.
I agree. So I'm in on this edition, Carson. I think that especially, and we'll to maybe pivot in if you're ready to, but if you can get Jerome Pierre Jr. to come in with Jaylen Low, oh boy, I'm a little worried about getting. It's harder. Like if I'm Jerome Pierre, I'm going, okay, well they went and got that kid. Do I want, you know what I mean? Like, what are we gonna? But if you can, man, it would be really scary. Really.
Well,
scary.
Yeah. I think, in my opinion, I think you do have one more guard spot available though, because I've told you this. I don't see Pierre as a one. Like I didn't see Demery as a one. Some of these guards are not ones. Jaylen Low is a one. He averaged 5.5 assists a game. He controlled the tempo of every game. He is a one. So I think they could work together, because I think Jaylen Low and Otega are going to work great together, and I think Otega and Pierre are a lot alike. Even though Pierre is more of a shot chucker and not as much of a driver. But I think they could fit well together. So I don't think it's more of a one or the other. I think they could definitely work together.
So I want to throw a scenario at you here, and I want you to tell me how excited you would be on a scale of 1 to 10 if we had Jaylen Low and Jerome Pierre as our starting guards. Obviously, Otega in there as your 3. Or you whatever you want to call them. I think in the system 2 and 3.
There's no positions really in basketball anymore.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. I agree. But and then coming off your bench is Jasper Caden and Wesley Yates. Can you imagine that? And Colin Chandler. I mean, it would be scary. It would be truly scary if that was our backcourt. So yeah, So, to kind of, continue pivoting into some portal guys, we'll talk about Diabate. We'll talk about Fugeras. We'll talk a little bit about Wesley Yates, talk about Jerome Pierre. So we'll start with Pierre, Carson. I mean, this is one, I've got a better reading, I think. How do you feel about Pierre right now on a scale of like 1 to 10? What's your confidence we get him?
Well, I felt a lot better about him last week, because that's when all the smoke was kind of going on with him in Kentucky. And I just feel like I haven't heard much recently on him, but that not necessarily a bad thing, because I haven't heard him going elsewhere either. I think he's also weighing his process too, because I think he could enter the draft as well. So I think he's one of those guys that it might take a little longer. So don't be disappointed because of no news, I would say, because I still feel like Kentucky's definitely up there for him. So I'm not disappointed, and I just think it might take him a little longer than the rest of them.
I just think, look at the scoring potential of a team that has Pierre, Low, Otega, Owe as your guards. I mean, it's just,
look at how athletic you are.
Yeah. and tall. I mean, Owe 6'4", Pierre 6'5", Lowe 6'3". You're not a small team. So, and then Alvaro Fugeras is the guy that we talked about Mark Pope having a plan. I think Fugeras is already a part of his plan. I think that you have to get Fugeras. Power forward, knowing that it's the Calipari. I met with the team. There is no team. I met with the power forwards. There were no power forwards. I mean, you know what I mean? You need power forwards. That is the number one most important position. Oh, and we also Cam Williams too. I mean, in that backcourt, because I think Cam Williams would be a star.
Here's my thing. You said you added Wesley Yates. I think that's a one or the other situation. I think Pierre and Wesley Yates are a one or the other situation.
I agree, because Wesley Yates, it'd be cool if he was coming off the bench for us. He's too good of a player to be coming off the bench.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he needs to be starting somewhere.
Yeah, no, I think I honestly, who would you rather have? That's where I'm kind of torn. Pierre or Wesley Yates.
You answer first, because I think I'm going to disagree with you.
Who would you rather have?
Wesley Yates.
That's what I would pick.
Really, I get scared with the players. Now we see it a lot. We see him pan out. Chaz Lanier, coming from a smaller school and coming into the SEC and panning out. Walter Clayton Jr. I mean, there's a lot of great examples, but it's still always a little scary than a guy who was at USC. At putting up 14 points a game.
100% catch and shoot situations.
Yeah. And I wonder what system that would work well in.
Yeah.
I mean, with NBA upside, 6'4", 219 pounds, he's a brick.
He's a baller.
So I'm in on Yates. Now, once again, we're not shooing away Jerome Pierre here at the Wildcats Today Podcast. Either one to me is a 10 out of 10 addition to this roster.
Well, that's why I like why Mark Pope casted a wide net, right? I mean, he's talked to pretty much everybody in the transfer portal, it seems like. So, I mean, a lot of people like to categorize some of these as misses, even though he might have just said hello to somebody. Yeah. But it's nice to see him going after pretty much every player he possibly can just to get feelers out.
Remember when that old meme was Arkansas with Musselman, and it was just like he's reached out to literally every single player in the transfer portal.
Yeah,
I miss him being at Arkansas because those were fun. That was a fun.
Well, meme. now his Wesley Yates is leaving him at USC.
It's okay. He'll reach out to somebody else. He'll be okay.
Yeah, well, I think part of that might be Elijah Arenas or whatever his name is.
Yeah, so that. But I think we get Fugeras, Carson. I feel pretty confident in the Fugeras.
I feel confident too, and he's expected back in the States from Spain this week.
I think he is.
He might be today. But he was in Spain.
Stateside, once again, your local favorite Wildcats Today host sometimes is a little stupid. Stateside means the United States, right? Or does that mean not? Okay. I don't know if that was okay. I knew that though. I was just testing you. So I read something today that said he was stateside. Oh, so Abdi Bashir just committed to Kansas State. That kid. I don't know how much we were after. Yeah, no, that kid's gonna be a stud. Kansas State just got a baller. 20 points a game.
I was a big pass on that guy.
I like that guy. All right, we'll put a beer bet on that. What's a number? It's hard. Well, it's tough to judge it because I mean your whole issue is his defense, so it's tough to make an argument. Can't really.
He's a little undersized, not as athletic as I would like, not good at defense. I don't know.
I'll take I bet he has. It's tough to categorize what we consider to be a good year, but I think he's gonna have a good year for Kansas State. So
I'll be paying attention just so I can bring it up to you.
We'll revisit this in a year. Don't worry. So stick around for a year, folks. But the last time, Carson, I felt this confident about getting a player was Guath. So I'm like a little terrified, but I think we get Fugeras. I really do.
The Guelph situation was different too.
It was weird. Yeah, I agree. That's why I got the PTSD of that. But Fugeras is just so perfect for us, Carson. He's so perfect.
I mean, he's perfect. He's the 4-piece that you would dream of if you're Mark Pope.
Do you know the difference between him and Andrew Carr? To me,
who? What?
A lot of pure athleticism
and passing.
Yes, passing for sure. Passing.
Yeah, I think creating his own shot and passing, he's light years better than Andrew Carr in both those categories.
I just think that he is. I mean, he's so athletic. I mean, Andrew Carr was 6'10". We love. I mean, once again, we love Andrew Carr, but I mean, there'd be times he'd go to dunk and he's the old man
Well, I
back.
mean, he had old man back. He had OMB, old man back. It's not something to play around with.
Yeah,
that is not. I suffer from it too.
Yeah, so no.
It limits you athletically.
Yes, I'm with you, but I mean, that's why. Like, I just think that he is perfect for what we need. He shoots the ball well. He's not going to come out there and shoot 5 threes a game, but he'll shoot 1 or 2 and he'll make a good percentage of them. He's efficient. He rebounds the ball at a high level. He passes the ball at a high level. He plays good defense. He's a rim running dunker. He's got post moves. I think he's a freaking stud. And I think that he's going to be an NBA player. And
he's a guy you can run your offense through. And I think Pope sees the vision there.
I need you to categorize the level of boldness of what I'm about to say. Okay. And you got to tell me. Okay. What are the odds? And one's in the Big Ten and one we're hoping's in the SEC. What are the odds that Alvaro Fugeras has a better season than Yaxel Lindeborg? How bold? I like Yaxel a lot, but I like the NBA upside. I like Fugeras personally. That might be a bold take. I've watched film on both these guys. I think Fugeras has more NBA upside.
Here's the difference. One might not even be playing in college next season.
That's true. That's a good point.
Like Yaxel tomorrow could be like, yeah, I'm going to the Iowa G League team or wherever they would go. But I mean, I just think as much as I wanted Yaxel, and he's a fantastic player, don't get me wrong, I'm messing around. I think he's a bona fide super stud. I would have loved to have him, but I think there's less risk with Fugeras because he's not going pro. He's not going to cost you as much as Yaxel's going to cost you. I just think, and I think he might be a better passer than Yaxel, which could open up your team even more. And I think Pope sees him as kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily, he's not Amari Williams, so I'm not going to use that, but like he might run him in the same sets as he used Amari in to distribute the ball and allow our offense to run and orchestrate.
And I mean, the difference in their numbers, they shot the pretty much same field goal percentage. Yaxel averaged 3 more points, 2 more rebounds, and 1 more assist. It's not like these. I mean, we're not. People are hearing this right now, and what you all are thinking, and I know it, and I understand it. You're thinking, well, they missed on Yaxel, and they're upset about it. I wanted both of them, to be honest with you. It's not no. We wanted Yaxel Lindeborg. I'm just saying, I don't think it's a crazy statement to say Fugeras like. When we were talking good about him, it was because we thought we had a good chance to get both of them. Now we missed on Yaxel, and my take on this stands. I think that there's a chance that if Yaxel does end up playing in Michigan, that Fugeras at Kentucky can have a better season. I think it's a realistic take.
Well, I agree. I mean, I think the team that we're building around, that we will build around Fugeras is going to be better than what they build around Yaxel at Michigan.
I agree.
Because I do not want Elliot Cadeau as my starting point guard.
No. Brickdo. Yeah, no, I'm with you. So what about Diabate? I haven't heard you're more in on the Diabate, not in on it. I'm just saying what do you hear about Diabate?
Yeah, apparently we had a Zoom with him over the weekend and it went well, apparently. And honestly, I like the fit with Diabate. Really? I would love for him because I don't think he sees himself as a starter. And so I think I would love for him to be the backup 4 piece to Fugeras and come in because I think he was a fantastic defender.
Yes.
In for Bama. And like he only played 20 plus minutes in 8 games last year.
16 minutes a game. I mean,
yeah, and his stats were remarkable for the playing time that he got. So his per 40 stats would be like 14 points a game. I think it would be 14, 10, and maybe like 2. But like that's per 40. I think giving a larger role in his defensive upside and his shooting, I think Diabate would be a great pickup for this team because we need as many dogs as we can get, and he's one of them.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about your backup 4 who last year, once again, we love these, and we've openly said last year will be Mark Pope's least talented team he ever has. Ainsley Almonor was your backup 4. If you get Mohamed Diabate to be your backup 4 behind Fugeras, it's unstoppable. That's an unstoppable duo.
I love Ansley, but Diabate is a lot better than Ansley.
If you put together, if you get, I agree with you. You can't do the Yates and Pierre probably.
Mm-hmm.
If you get, let's just say we'll say Pierre because right now I
think you're safe to assume you get one more guard and two bigs. I'd say.
So if you get Diabate, Fugeras, and Pierre. Now, here's where I don't know if we disagree, but I want a 5. I want a natural 5.
I want one too. I just think that I don't know. We haven't really reached out to any true 5s. I did hear I did hear talk about maybe a foreign option, so that could be on the table as well. They might be putting out feelers overseas for a center. Well, so that could be an option.
Do you consider Quaintance a 4? I mean, I think
he's a 4 or 5.
Play, he's because we reached out to Jaden Quaintance as well, of course.
Yeah,
former Kentucky.
And they're probably talking as we're talking right now.
Yeah. So I mean, if you get Quaintance, I'd start him at your 5 and play Fugeras at your 4.
I would
if that is your team, I think that team can win a national championship. I think that's a top 5 team off the rip. With Pierre, assuming Ortega's back, Pierre and/or Yates, Low, Fugeras, Diabate, Cam Williams. Well, I'm all in on Cam Williams.
Yeah.
And then people keep forgetting, and I want to talk about this for a second, Carson. We have 2 5-stars and an elite 4-star point guard coming in. We've got great players coming in as well. It's not like, people love the portal. I love the portal. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. But at the end of the day, these guys, sometimes Colin Chandler, I think, is going to have a big boost. I think Trenton Noah could have a role for you. I think that obviously we all know who Ortega is. We know what you're capable of with Brandon Garrison. I mean, you've got a lot of good players coming back, and your recruiting class and this team is going to be really darn good.
You got to think players get better. So,
yes.
I mean, people were freaking out it's the worst thing in the world that Brandon Garrison might be our 5. BG's going to get better over the summer. He's going to have a whole nother year in Mark Pope's system. Yeah. Mark Pope coaching him. Pope coaches the bigs. Our team is going to get better. The players that are coming back, they're all going to get better. And then all these players that we're bringing in are going to get better. Everyone's going to have an off season to get better. So,
I completely agree with you. So I'm in on this roster. I think that the vision is there. If you go get those guys, I think the vision is there, and I think it's going to be a special season. So I'm really stoked for this year because I think it's going to be, when we were a Sweet 16 team, a top 25 team, pretty much, were we ever out of the AP poll? I think we were top 25 the whole season.
Yeah, I think we were top 25 the whole season.
And I think this team's going to be 10 times better than that team with that coach. And the reason that team was top 25 team is because of their head coach. That's why. So when you put together a top 10 roster with a top 10 coach,
you made the Sweet 16 without your best scorer.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
probably best player.
Future's so bright. I mean, it is. I just think this is, I think Sweet 16 is no longer something we should care about after this season. We should go back to Kentucky basketball of not giving a crap about Sweet 16.
I mean, yeah, let's look at it this way, right? So let's say that comes to fruition. We get our roster. Then your 1 is Low. Your 2 is either Ortega or Pierre. The other one's the 3. Then you got Fugeras at your 4, Quaintance at your 5.
Yep. And
then you got, or even if you don't have Quaintance, you got BG or Moreno at your 5. And then you got on the bench, you got Jasper, Caden, Colin Chandler, Diabate, Cam Williams. Just go down the list. It gets ridiculous. We didn't have that depth last year with that much talent.
I mean, last year, we had Trenton Noah and Travis Perry and Colin Chandler and Ainsley Almanor coming off the bench. Now you're going to have Cam Williams and a sophomore year Colin Chandler and Jasper Johnson and Caden Lewis and Malachi Moreno. These are your backups.
Jasper Johnson and Cam Williams can be lottery picks.
Yeah. And I think they could be lottery picks coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a chance that they're going to be behind some. I think Fugeras is an NBA player. I think I don't know about Lowe. We'll see. I think he might be one of those really good.
You want to hear my prediction for Lowe? Yeah. I think Lowe is going to be the point guard of our future. I think we get Lowe for 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly. So I agree with you on that. And I think, Pierre's got an NBA upside guy. Like, there's a chance that we go from, we're not going to have anybody drafted this year if Ortega comes back. I mean,
No.
unless Brea goes in the last 5 picks.
Yeah.
Right. I think Brea is the only realistic. I saw Amari in a mock draft. That'd be interesting. These would be last 10 picks. They wouldn't be, you know what I mean? But more than likely, we won't have anybody drafted this year. And I think next year it's going to go from 0 to like 4 or 5 players like that. But it's not, but it's going to be not the one. They're one and dones, but I think we're going to have some portal one and dones. Like, I think it's realistic. So, yeah. What else? So yeah, we reached out to Quains. Any other players that we haven't yet discussed, Carson? I'm trying to think.
Not that I really feel good about. I mean, we reach out to a lot of guys, but I really only like to mention the guys that we actually went farther than just a hello to.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of Kentucky fans are like, oh, we reached out to this guy, we got to get him. And then it's like, we didn't do anything but just say hello.
When it turns into set up a Zoom call.
Yeah. That's when I talk about it.
Yeah, I agree. So set up a Zoom calls when it goes from, we need to talk about this guy. So yeah, I mean, Carson, you got anything else? I mean, this is one of those, I thought we were going to have more. I mean, we wouldn't have.
There just hadn't been a ton of news though. I mean, we got to commit.
We got Low.
Yeah, but there just hadn't been tons of news. I like how our staff's kind of keeping everything quiet. Because that Low kind of came out of nowhere on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
and it was right. I woke up to Boff texting Yaxel to Michigan. I wake up and I'm just so angry but then we get Low and I was like, oh, cool, great, that's okay. That makes me feel better. Like it did come out of nowhere. So I was like angrily writing the Yaxel went to Michigan article, and then I was like, oh, Low, cool, okay, sweet, that works.
I feel like this week will be a big week though. I feel
think
like
Fugeras happens in the next day or two.
I think you could. I don't know if I want to go on to make this prediction, but I think your roster could be almost filled by next week.
I agree. I think so. Because we just don't need as many guys as we did last year. I mean, we probably realistically, as I've said, I want 1 more guard, 2 4s, and potentially a 5. That's so I think 4 more players, 3 for sure, 4 more potentially players, and I think that's it. And I think you're going to get, I believe, one of Yates or Pierre. I think you're going to get Fugeras. So then it's just another forward or 2, and then you're done. So yeah, I can see it happening very, very soon. Yeah. So that's my take on the matter, Carson. So any other thoughts before we get out of here?
No, big national championship tonight, though. I do want to talk about something. How about the Duke Blue Devils on Saturday? That was the choke job of a lifetime. I had so much joy in celebrating my Houston money line win that night that I've ever had in my life.
I'd never felt so good about 4.5 points. And then it's just like, what? Like, what? It was like one of those, like, I thought they were going to win by 20. And then, like, I went pee and they lost. I was like, oh my gosh. That was
Cooper Flagg. If you heard my bracket preview, I predicted that he'd choke in the Final Four.
Really? I didn't remember this.
Yeah, because he choked against us. He choked at the end of games.
He did. That's funny. I just saw. Did you see what Trevor tweeted? It was like, what can't Cooper Flagg do? And then Trevor replied and said, "Be clutch." I was like, that's funny. That's a pretty good tweet. That's a high level tweet.
Hey,
right?
Anthony Davis, still the best freshman ever.
I agree. Yeah. I don't think it should be a debate. I really don't think it should. So. Okay, well, listen, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we really appreciate it. We're still, where are we at here, Carson? Let's see.
We were 2.25.
We're at 2,257. So the next goal is 2,500, and then after that, it's going to be 3,000. So keep hitting that button for us. We really appreciate it. We'll have a show for y'all on Thursday unless we get a commit. If we get a commit, we'll do a show that day. But the plan right now, tentatively, is do a show Thursday, kind of update. We'll hear a lot more updates between now and Thursday. If we get a commit, we'll get something out to y'all that day. But if not, we'll have something Thursday talking more portal, what's going on, all the news there. So really appreciate that. Like I said, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next time right here on the Wildcats Today podcast.